more of in our family, so we've grown. The technology has made us change.
Well, as I said, we've had to be flexible. And sometimes I've not wanted to be flexible. You know, Carol knows, you probably can think back on times when she wanted to hit me, but you know, there's some things that I'd say we got to be true to our principles. We got to stay true to what we believe. We got to stay true to the kinds of things that we believe. We got to stay true to the idea that teachers need to be involved in the decision-making process because that's the essence of CLI. And here we've got NCOB and we've got all these people going all over the place saying, well, do it our way. And so there's a great temptation to just say, well, we'll just drop all that and we'll just tell them we just go ahead and start writing curriculum ourselves and hand it to the teachers and tell them to go do this. And like a lot of entities were, companies, nonprofits both, and we all sit there and say, well, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to try to get through this. We're going to try to stay true to what we have always believed, and we're going to get out of it. And we have.
And another thought, and I don't know that it fits this question or exactly where it fit, but it came to me when he was talking. When he said, Carol may have wanted to hit me sometimes. Yes. But that's the thing, too, I think that is part of CLI's success, is that we are open and honest and we argue, you know, and yet we still come away as friends, but we can do that, and we don't, there's no yes man or yes woman in our organization. You know, we say what we think and we listen to each other, and I think that's been a huge part of its success.
At first we dreamed up a name called Academic Management Systems. A really stupid name, but that's something we came up with because it wasn't another institute, you know, because we were already in the Jones Institute, so I didn't want to do that. So we did that, and that didn't turn out very well. And then I thought, well, okay, so we're going to have institute, so what do we want to have precede institute? Now, my biggest interest wasn't necessarily curriculum. I mean, curriculum obviously is something that's very important, but my biggest interest personally was the leadership thing. And the whole idea behind putting CLI together, as far as I was concerned, was that what we are trying to do is make teachers more professional, to make teachers more leaders unto themselves, and that we needed to give a structure for that to happen. We needed a way for them to get involved in the discussions and all the decision-making structures that go on in school districts. So I dreamed up this name. It's a really terrible name, and Carol may not remember it. It was Leadership Institute in Curriculum Development. This is LICD, and I think I had that for about a year. And I was writing stuff. I was writing materials that called the curriculum leaders, as a matter of fact, and I was sending it out to all kinds of people. And I used LICD for a long time within the Jones Institute. And then I thought, that's really a stupid name.
And as you said, that was within the Jones Institute. That wasn't when this organization.
Right, that's right. And I realized we couldn't have, first of all, four letters don't work, especially 4 letters where you can't call it anything. So listen, you know. So that's when I changed it to CLI. But leadership to me is the most important piece of CLI. I mean, the curriculum is the medium through which leadership is attained. Curriculum is the medium through which teachers can become more professional. And to me, it's everything.
When I think of leadership, I don't think it is the situation where you say, I am your leader, therefore follow me, let's go. Do what I say because I am your leader. To me, good leadership is making sure everyone else can progress and that they can go. And so your role as a leader is to become almost invisible and to work yourself out of that role so you can go do it somewhere else and get the others to become leaders too. Well, they do think of it as a place, and it's not like, can I come there and take classes or something? And we're like, no, it's not. But institute also means an idea of learning. It's just connected to learning, and so we just say no. It's more the idea of it and the organization of it. It's not a place that you come take classes. Probably the wall work, because it's so impressive when people see it for the first time that You can actually see your curriculum that you have been doing, and then as you make changes, you can see them. So that's always been, if we wanted to hook somebody, if we wanted to get them more interested, we could show them even just a couple of grade levels of look at this, and people are just amazed. So I think that's probably my favorite part of the model.
Well, my favorite part is the governance. The thrust of my dissertation was in that realm to a large degree too. Was you can't have leaders be encouraged if there isn't some kind of organizational mechanism for allowing that to happen. And see, that was the problem that, as I saw it with schools, was that there wasn't an opportunity for people really to become leaders. Now, you'd go out into a lot of school districts, and I'd talk to principals and superintendents. Oh, we have teachers involved all the time. We have teachers coming, and they're on these advisement committees, and they're on BLTs, building leadership teams, and all that sort of thing. And you go talk to the teachers, and you say, well, okay, so what do you think about your work on these advisement committees and BLTs? Waste of time. Why? Well, they don't listen to us. We come in there and then they say, well, you're very important, and so tell us what you think. And then they sit there and they'll listen, and they'll go out and do what they want to do. And you hear that over and over and over again with teachers. And so that was the thing I needed to change, or we needed to change in my opinion, was that we needed to change it so that if the teacher spoke, somebody listened. And not only that, somebody took action. And the term, one of my favorite terms, is decision-making, action-taking. That what teachers are allowed to do is participate in the decision-making, and they can participate in the action-taking, and they can actually see any recommendation that they make come into fruition. We've seen a diminishment of the profession, you know, and the reason for that is because of government, because a lot of other people have assumed that what we need to do is hold these people accountable. And then they'll come up with any kind of thing to do that, even if you have to narrow the curriculum and give really stupid tests. That's why we're going to hold these people accountable, because they're not accountable. And now the general public doesn't believe that, but certain politicians, frankly, have used that as sort of a credo, you know, that well, we got to keep these schools, we got to tighten down. They cost too much money. They cost too much money, and they don't have to cost that much money. And if we just make them more accountable to get the job done, then we can cut all these excess costs and so forth and so on. And I'm not buying it. And I once said, and I think it annoyed some people, but I feel like that my profession was hijacked. And I know it's a strong word, but I think that's exactly what's happened. Maybe it was our own fault. I don't know. But I believe that very strongly, and I'd love to see it. We need to get the profession back to better serve the public, and we need to be more responsive to the public. And when I say we, I'm not talking about the politicians, I'm talking about those who are in charge of educational decision-making and action taking. And I know we shot ourselves in our own foot. I mean, this is true. I mean, there are reasons why there was the Nation at Risk report. There was a reason why there were all these other criticisms. There was a reason why NCLB came out of Texas and became Texas writ large, basically.
But, you know, that's even actually part of why CLI did start and was so successful. The part about we did need to make changes. When I said there weren't curriculums, there wasn't anything like that. So CLI showed how you could make it organized, make it accountable, but locally. And they could make the local people could make those decisions. And that's what I agree, governance is so important, but the local governance. And so that's part of why CLI started so well, I think.
CLI does include the board members, includes parents, and on all of our CCCs, our curriculum coordinating councils, we have people from the community and the board.
It sounds like CLI was prescient, kind of a forerunner in the need to create local curriculum.
Yes.
And that's what I'd like to see happen in a broader way. I mean, not that CLI has to be necessarily the big deal, but at least something like that occur where more local curriculum development, more local control is made possible.
I think in working with our curriculum councils and our subject committees and so forth, that I have seen teachers now feel like they do have a voice. And it's like when one of those first questions you asked me about teaching, and I said, you can see on children's faces, when they get it and they're learning something. I could see teachers change in their professionalism, in their thinking of, I get to decide what's going to be in here, and we said, yes, you're the teacher, you don't need to take something that's being spouted from somewhere else and make a decision and then go in and find the best way to work with your kids, and if that doesn't work, come back, and there's actually a process. And even we talked about teachers sharing, even with elementary students, sharing more with them. This is what we're trying to learn, instead of just going in and teaching a lesson, telling the students beforehand, this is what we're going to do today, and I want every one of you to show me that you can do it. And so student success and understanding, and teacher success and understanding, and that's what I think. I can't believe it's been 25 years. I think that's very exciting. But my goodness, the time goes quickly. We old people say that a lot.
I feel the same way. It's, as I say, it's been the high point of my career, so I can't say that I'm 100% content, because that's, I'm not ready to retire, and so brain still works, and I still enjoy CLI and what CLI stands for, and how it can be made better in the future.
We all appreciate your leadership and everything that you've done for CLI.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.